now then.
Excellent. Welcome everyone to today's Lunch and Learn session. We are excited to announce a new program called the Intellectual Property Garden, and today we will tell you all about it. We have some time for Q&A at the end, and you can also visit the Open Innovation page on our EIT Food website for more information. My name is Peter, and I'm joined with my colleague Adriano, and let's dive straight in. So in roughly 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, we will run you through the objectives of the IP Garden program, explain you the activities of the program and the key stakeholders involved. And to make it more tangible, we will discuss some example projects that we have absorbed in the IP Garden and that are generating traction. And hopefully by this time, we have interested you to engage with us in this program. And of course, we will explain you how to engage. And then again, there's the Q&A right at the end of the presentation.
Awesome. So maybe the first question you probably have to ask is, what is the Intellectual Property Garden? At a glance, it aims to fulfill one singular mission, which is to upcycle innovations into marketed products and services through collaboration. And we hope to, and we do this, and we'll show you how we do this, through three main pillars. The first is by generating visibility for cutting edge, close to market technologies. We also match technology owners with technology seekers, so typically entrepreneurs and open innovation leaders. And lastly, we also support the implementation of that knowledge transfer and IP transfer by, one, facilitating the legal framework, but also providing additional funding opportunities and leveraging the suite of in-house EIT programs that we have available. So before we dive deeper, we're still at the abstract level. Why don't we share a little bit more about the context of how this program came to be, Peter?
Yeah, thank you. It's important to understand how this program fits into our wider strategy and mission of EIT Food. And as some of you know, there's a mix between EIT Food people here as well as externals. Since 2018, EIT Food has selected and co-funded collaborative innovation projects. And during the execution and after the project completion, we actually monitor the implementation of the innovation projects quite closely. And some of those innovations, they reach the market and they directly contribute to a healthier and sustainable food systems. However, there are also other innovations that not make it to the market for several reasons. So this could be technical, this could be commercial, operational, or sometimes regulatory barriers. However, at EIT Food, we are really convinced that these projects can still be valuable to our innovation ecosystem, and we absorb a selection of these projects into the IP Garden. So then the IP Garden is actually the vehicle that draws attention to these innovations and really is an environment that helps to foster knowledge exchange, spark new collaboration opportunities, as well as inspire people for new ideas. So one may browse the portfolio and think of new ideas to come to mind or collaboration opportunities, all with the idea to bring these projects, these innovations, but potentially new innovations, a step closer to the market where we believe that they can make an impact and generate economic value for EIT Food and also for Europe. So with that in mind, let's go a little bit deeper into the topics when I say generating visibility, matchmaking, as well as supporting the implementation. Adriano.
Yeah, so the first pillar of the IP Garden, as Peter mentioned, is the visibility component. And we bring that visibility forward through our IP opportunities portal, which we'll show and talk about later. But within this portal, it's important to note that we feature a selection of innovations that we deem have a really high potential. So those innovations that have, for example, a really high degree of technical and performance success with a strong commercial potential. So in addition to this portal, we also actively promote these opportunities, these innovations across our community through our partners and our wider innovation ecosystem through the channels that we have available to us. So that's kind of the first step. The second step that we take is take that more matchmaking approach. So the IP Garden aims to serve as that connector between the IP owners, so the project and the technologies and the innovations, and the IP seekers. So our initial outreach is already generating quite enough traction. Actually, I mean, we're quite happy and excited to see it continue to generate more traction and conversations. But it is through these connections and these conversations that we evaluate whether there's a good fit between the stakeholders involved and setting those expectations for what could come from this innovation. If we feel like there's a strong match, we then move forward with sharing additional information via usually a non-disclosure agreement. And we do so through what we like to call the information package. So essentially, an outline of what this technology and this innovation entails. Throughout this phase, our aim is that the business case and I should say, for the innovation becomes clearer, and the form of collaboration or knowledge transfer starts to take shape. Then, lastly, we move on to the last pillar of the IP Garden, which is the implementation phase. When an implementation plan is drafted, we follow through on any further development by connecting to any other relevant EIT Food programs. So, for example, this could be the Impact Funding Framework, it could be the Fast Track to Market program, or many of our other various entrepreneurship and regional initiatives. Once that's up and running and it's starting to take shape, we also help monitoring the implementation of those projects and the proper enforcement of those agreements. Our ultimate goal really with these three pillars is that these will generate some great success stories, and they will be able to highlight those stories across our innovation community, further increasing the market uptake and the buzz around that innovation. But you might be asking, so who's involved in this garden? It is first and foremost a collaborative effort that brings together these three types of stakeholders. You have the project consortium and the members, innovators, and of course, EIT Food at the middle. So for the project consortium, these are typically your RTOs, universities, stakeholders that have created a substantial set of knowledge, expertise, and IP. And these consortium members can also include SMEs and industry members, who are typically the ones responsible for exploiting the results of that innovation. But as we're all probably aware and familiar, sometimes these consortium members may have conflicting resources, may not have the time or the capacity to bring those innovations to market, which is where the innovators come in. So the innovators part of the triangle are your entrepreneurs, your open innovation leaders, your R&D experts who are looking for fresh new ideas and new business opportunities. So these innovators could tap into this garden and expand their product portfolios, accelerate the R&D pipeline, find new methods to becoming more competitive on the market, and so on and so forth. And as such, that's where EIT Food plays a role in this triangle. Our aim is to bring this diverse and dynamic innovation community with the mandate to build the innovation capacity in the food sector and make it more healthy, more sustainable, and align with our missions. So we're able to connect these two stakeholders, and that's our goal with this program, is to bring these new ideas to light and provide the funding to make it happen. But that's still quite abstract. What does it look like in practice? Peter, you want to walk us through some of the case studies?
Yes, definitely. And case studies, these are actually real examples. Because there's a lot of, we may use difficult words in EIT Food language, but eventually it comes down to real projects, real innovations, real cases. So let's take Coffee Code, which is one of the first projects absorbed in our IP Garden as an example. Coffee Code was a project that EIT Food supported during the COVID pandemic. And it was a project that was performed by the International Iberian Nanotechnology Laboratory. I will abbreviate it to INL. Eroski, and then a INL spin-off, which is called To Be Nanofood. And in this project, the consortium developed a food-grade coating for fruits and vegetables with antiviral and shelf life prolonging properties. And this performance was very successfully demonstrated on pears and tomatoes. So initially it was foreseen that To Be Nanofood, which is the spin-off, would actually start producing the coating and then sell it directly to Eroski, who would then apply it at the distributor centers to their produce. However, in the midst of this, turbulent pandemic times, it was actually quite difficult for Eroski to anticipate the consumer response to this coating. So there was some hesitation whether putting non-coated and coated products on the shelves at the same time would maybe cannibalize one of the other. You don't want to scare consumers that okay, non-coated products are not safe. So at the time, that was a concern for Eroski. However, given the technical success of this innovation and also changing consumer mindsets, a strong drive also towards reducing food waste, and I think more acceptance to innovative packaging technologies, we still think there's a lot of potential in this coating, in this innovation. And the good thing is that we are not the only ones that believe about this, because since we've launched this, featured this in the EIT Garden portal, which is, I think, roughly 2-3 months ago, we have actually received a lot of requests and inquiries about this technology. And currently, we are mostly working with SMEs to explore whether this could be an addition to their product portfolio. So we have one SME that is in food but not in coatings, and we have another SME that is in coatings but not in food. And in this way, we try to see how these technologies can be absorbed to basically expand product portfolios. So what do we do? Well, in addition to creating attention to this project results and also showcasing the expertise of Innovation Nanolab, we evaluate the incoming opportunities to see whether they have some merit, to do some expectation management. And then we continue actively curating the information flow from Innovation Nanolab to the potential interested parties, as well as using the information that we have available to us through project monitoring exercises. And then eventually we could foresee a scenario in which there is, for instance, a co-development or collaboration project between Innovation Nanolab and a potentially new innovator that will bring this to the market in optimizing the coating either for certain fruits and vegetables or enhancing the antiviral properties, or perhaps, which it may be more likely, enhancing the shelf life prolonging properties. And these are all activities that we can perfectly fund through the impact funding framework. It fits very well within our priorities and our missions. So we happily support this implementation in whatever means are available to us. So let's take a look. We've been discussing the IP Opportunities portal quite often. On the left, you actually see a screenshot of the technologies that are now featured in the portal. You can find it by clicking on the link, eitfood.portals.inpart.com. And on the right side, you actually see what kind of information we are showing about these opportunities. So we have some information about the background, the context of the innovation, the benefits, the advantages, the applications it can be used for, as well as some figures and some data to showcase the innovation. And then on the top right-hand side, you can also see a connect button. So if you're interested, you can directly press this connect button, connect with us. We evaluate the opportunity and take it from there. Yeah. All right. So I know I already talked quite a bit about the previous opportunity, so I'll be a little bit shorter on this one. But in case that coatings are not really your cup of tea, perhaps yogurts and dairy drinks are. So in a project with Danone, Fraunhofer University of Warsaw, and Napiferen Biotech, this consortium created very, very delicious alternative dairy products based on rapeseed protein, which are actually in all consumer testing, taste as well as texture, outperforming the current products that you now know on the market, which are usually soy-based. So really great project. However, there is a catch to also this innovation, which is the limited availability of high quality rapeseed protein, which you can imagine for a larger corporate like Danone is a challenge if you want to roll this product out on a mass market. However, where this is a challenge maybe for Danone, it could not be a challenge or less of a challenge for an SME with a smaller portfolio, with a smaller range of customers, which can actually be satisfied with the availability of raw material at this moment and grow with the trends on dairy alternatives as well as the availability of this raw material. So this could really be a plug and play product that can be absorbed by an SME already in the alternative protein space and just plug it in as an addition to their product line. So not surprisingly, we have observed interest from dairy product manufacturers and interestingly also from venture studios where potentially a new startup could be created around this innovation, around this topic. So again, we are working together with these SMEs to explore the portfolio fit, tell more about the project, as well as to explore startup creation opportunities. And obviously, we would love to be involved in the implementation of those actions. So that could be licensing. It could also be supporting product market fit testing, getting the products on the shelves for a limited amount of time, or just a cash injection that helps to buy in the raw material and start working with it. So products or programs that would fit those are fast track to market as well as the risk straight to market program.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we hope that with these case studies, you can already start to see some of the benefits of engaging with this program, and to explicitly maybe preempt a question of why should you engage in the first place. Well, there's a few reasons why we think you should, and you may want to. So if you're a technology owner, for example, you can expect to benefit from additional projects, even royalties. It may also well be that the project feature in the IP Garden maybe doesn't lead to an immediate collaboration, but even in that case, it enables you to showcase your expertise, your research ability, and your capacity to deliver cutting-edge research across the food industry, across the agri-food industry. If you're an innovator, I think it's a little bit more clear, the case. It gives you a direct access to a portfolio of really high-quality, high TRL innovations at a fraction of the investment that would be necessary from other sources. It can help you accelerate your R&D pipeline, expand your product portfolio, etc. There's also the additional benefit of finding seasoned experts that can help think along your product development journey and even potentially join your advisory board, for example, which all boils down to why EIT Food is doing this in the first place and what is our objective of this program, which is really to maximize the impact from our investments and the projects that we fund, and to seek to increase our ability to transform the food system with the projects and innovations that we fund. So, great. Where's the sign up button? Peter, why don't you tell us exactly kind of what are some of the next steps or what could it look like in practice?
Yes, certainly. So indeed, I hope some of you are thinking, all right, how can I get involved? Basically, we distinguish between technology owners, mentioned by Adriano, as well as the technology seekers or the innovators, however you want to call them. So for technology owners, we generally start on the basis of non-commercialized intellectual property. So which intellectual property do you have in your portfolio that has been funded by EIT Food and is not commercialized? We would start then the process by an agreement, which are additional IP access rights to EIT Food. So this enables us to actually start working with the IP to find and develop opportunities and have some freedom to operate when it comes to executing this program. Then next, we will develop a non-confidential project summary that will be uploaded to the IP opportunities portal, as well as a confidential information package that we can share upon leads or opportunities that are arising. And on both, we would really like to have your input as well as your approval to make the process as smooth as possible. So that's on the technology owner side. On the technology seeker side, it may be even easier. Basically, really go and check out the IP opportunities portal and see whether there's a project of interest to you there, and connect with us, either through the button or send us an email or engage through the website. Also, if you cannot find what you're looking for, because the technologies are sometimes quite niche, reach out to us as well. We have not yet selected and absorbed all of the projects in our portfolio on the portal, so it may well be that you have a technology need or interest that is within the portfolio but not published yet. So we can help or we can screen the portfolio and see whether there's a potentially other match to be made. So if there's interest, if our expectations align, then we usually execute a non-disclosure agreement, and we can send more information about the project, which is this confidential information package, which should provide you with enough material or body to actually assess whether this technology is of interest, whether there's a good business case for you, and whether there's value to you. Sometimes this also includes a conversation with the consortium or certain consortium members if there are pieces that are unclear. Generally, this is the information flow that we still curate to not overflow or overload the technology owners. So all of that done, then really comes the collaborative action. This is when there is a serious opportunity, serious collaboration opportunity, which all parties agree on can be explored further. And this has several ways. So anything can happen. It can go towards a more licensing deal, a co-commercialization deal, a co-development deal, and for each several actions have to be taken. So this could, for instance, be a, before we actually do the transfer, some kind of proof of concept or validation study, sending over samples, those kind of things. Then obviously there is the legal angle. So we would draft intellectual property access rights agreements and licenses and initiate the eventual technology transfer. EIT Food will then be on top of monitoring the implementation and, importantly, monitoring the compliance with all the agreements that have been made. So this is also a safeguard for the technology owners, that their IP is used correctly and against the agreed upon terms and conditions. So those are more I would say the heavy steps or the formal steps, but eventually the real ask to you today is to engage, explore with us what open innovation can do, how the technologies in our portfolio can be of benefit to you, and really foster this open innovation culture together with us. So really check out the opportunities portal. The link is there again. Also a neat QR code. And of course, you can connect to myself and Adriana directly by email. And there's also a register interest button on the Open Innovation webpage of EIT Food, for which the link you can find there. So this was, I think, almost 30 minutes. Adriana, congrats to us that we did it in time. So we have plenty of time for your questions. And if you don't have questions or you don't want to answer them or ask them directly in the meeting, you can also use the chat function. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you.